Alright, back to show you another big advancement. This morning, Normat helped Ahezard, don't really know how to pronounce his name actually, I'll just call him Hazard. They helped him find the bit31 patch in Dev Launcher. For those who don't know, bit31 is one of the last registers that's set by the launcher before it boots the target SRL, and once bit31 is set, you normally can't access the system config registers. The stuff you would need to re-enable TWL related hardware in NTR mode, or change modes, or do anything interesting. But now that's a thing of the past because that's been patched out, and the new release here is WoodR4 for the 3DS. Now currently it grabs its UI from the R4, I do believe. So if you don't have an R4, you can DLDI patch this for a card but it might not work with some flash cards. But it will only boot NTR games right now off the R4. It does not yet boot games off the SD card. That needs additional work. Ahezard has said that he will try and do this, but it's going to be a month or more perhaps, because this is kind of a major project to do, to try and get SD access. Perhaps some other coders will put in some work on this, but Ahezard himself will probably be too busy to do it, just to clear things up. So I'm going to show it working. This is running in NTR mode. I'm going to show it browsing my SD card on the 3DS. It's still got the debug text on the top screen enabled. You have to hit B to continue. As you can see, this is my SD card, I believe. Actually, I could be wrong on the whole UI thing. I could boot it without my R4 just to see. In fact, I'll do that. But I'm pretty sure the UI needs a slot 1 device to load off of. Well, it's effectively not inserted right now, so I'm going to boot it again. See if the UI actually comes off the SD or not. No, it doesn't. It still works without a UI, you just can't see what you're doing. As you can see here, but it's a lot easier to use if you have a UI working. A DLDI patch just to work with my DS Extreme 2 as well, and it works with that when it comes to transferring files. It can't boot stuff off that card right now because, as with SD access, you kind of have to fix a keyloader. That's the portion of this that boots things. So there's two new options. There's a new option here. The old WoodR4 used to have slot 2 here, but now it's 3DS SD card. As you can see, I can switch between the two, and I can show you how you would go about transferring something to your R4 or other device. So let's say I wanted to copy this ROM, like this one. Let's see here. You hit start, you hit copy, then you tab out back to your R4, which is going to be micro SD, and this is where I'll put it. Not enough space. Okay, yeah, it's a little buggy, I guess. It says there's not enough space, but I'm pretty sure there is. Anyway, obviously you cannot boot things off this yet, not off the SD. But you can boot NTR games with this because it's an NTR mode. So I'm going to show that now. Let's try something that I don't have the line and cord plugged in, so the audio for this isn't going to be as good. But as you can see, NTR games are working just fine from the slot 1. Hopefully at some point we'll have SD booting for games, and we won't even need these flashcards anymore, but for the moment, the other interesting things you can do is enable card init reset commands, so you can reset the slot properly and do card init. So there's some things that So there's some things like these slot 1 launchers that I've been working with currently don't work because of card init. You need an external card swapper to make them in at the slot. Hopefully this will allow proper card init, so this will become useful. Primarily what this is based off is NitroHax, another sort of a homebrew version of Action Replay. That too will benefit from this. It's a lot of new stuff we can do now that we aren't restricted by Dev Launcher anymore. So there you go. That's the new Bit 31 patch in a nutshell.